This is going to be the joint segment of the whole guide. Right now, I'll be showing you the three main knee joints I personally use and the easiest ones I can really think of. I color coded the motor so it makes it a lot more easier to figure out which is which. So the green is power, this is to move the knees. The blue is pretty much self-correcting, so the knee doesn't look weird after moving it. I use W and S usually for moving the knee, as you can see. This one uses reset. Make sure this knee uses reset. The blue, as I said, is for self-correcting. You don't have to put any controls in here, just make sure it's powered. But if you want to, you can put like 6 speed and some controls to make it have a jumping effect or have a really fast knee bend. I don't use it much. This one on this knee, on the other hand, it's unpowered. And just a normal compressor block. For example. As you can see, this one right here can self-correct itself, while this one right here kind of just moves around. This to give the knee a more natural bend, and when mech is just standing still, as a more natural posture. Another key thing about the legs is use you have to put a knee joint. If the knee is just gonna look like it's breaking every time you take a step, or it's just gonna break the whole mech completely. We don't want that, so please add the wedges and the blocks here. I do recommend when building this knee joint, use normal signs like the text ones, not these ones. That's because they don't really have a collision, especially if you're motor locking a piece into the joint or using compressors. Either way, it works. Next up, the arms. I use two different arms. This one right here is less articulated. It's basic single joint, full wrist, up and down, and side to side movement and such. This one right here is a little special because it uses a double jointed elbow, full articulated wrist, arm swivel, up and down. As you can see, the one with the double elbow joint, it is a lot more articulated. It can bend past 90 degrees. This one can too, but once you build onto the armor and stuff, it's gonna be stuck even more. It's probably just gonna bend 90-degree angle. And then you have like the swivel on this one, the up and down to adjust it. And then wrists. This is how you can build them. The length is really up to you and your mech. You can make it as long as you want. You can make it touch the floor. I really don't care. It is up to you. But it just blocks a wedge right here. This so you can at least move the arm. Just a bunch of wedges stuffed into here. So normal wedge. Half wedge down, normal half wedge, the half block section, half blocks, blocks, half blocks, motors. Motor controls are up to you. Just make sure they're locked. The elbow's up to you. If you want it locked, I prefer it locked because a lot of my mechs are pretty laggy and glitchy. This one is the same. Make sure to use a cutter in here, or you can even use a cylinder. Because if you have a block right here, this whole arm's not gonna move. But you could put blocks on the sides right here. Again, the controls are really up to you. These are my personal controls. Yeah, with these ones right here, make sure that the controls are like switched up on both the motors. This is so the elbow can actually bend like a normal elbow and not break. Swivel up and down, swivel. Now these right here, these are your hip joints. These are part of the legs too. So you got this joint is connected to the pelvis slash hip area of the mech, and then lower down you got the knees. These are to split the legs. These motors right here. These motors are to split the legs. And the inside motor. Make sure it's the inside motor. That's one for walking. So SW, SW, and then these are the self-correcting ones. I forgot to paint them. Here. Green is the walking. Oh, it's the walking. And then these are self-correcting. Once again, you can use your own controls for either jumping or just really fast knee bend, but do not lock them. Same with the walking ones, do not lock them. The split motors, though, to split the legs part, you can lock them. Just make sure that the controls switch around so they move in the same direction and not jam up. This one just uses one of them, so it's pretty easy to get the gist of. And then this one right here is able to swivel. This is to pretty much give it a more, let's say, it gives it to make a more appealing stance. So, as you can see, you can swivel back and forth, leg split, walking. Next up, I'm going to show you is a waist. I use this as a basis for the waist of my mechs. It's ab crunch and torso swivel, like the torso on top. But this is just a frame you can build around it. Just make sure to switch this sign out with text so it doesn't have much of a big collision. And friction and stuff, it's so it just doesn't jam up. Um, I use the F1 so since I don't have a number pad, I really need a keyboard with a number pad. But yeah, it's pretty simple. It goes ab crunch and swivel. There's a swivel. It's an ab crunch. And then here's the foot. Feet design is up to you. I use the new hinge blocks as the ankle joints. This makes it a lot easier and a lot more compact. What I had last time was not very compact. It was just a bunch of motors and motor shoes and stuff. Don't use that, it's pretty glitchy and stuff. This is just a lot easier. I use 45 degree angle max friction. These motors right here, this is for walking. When your mech takes a step, you want the other foot to push down so it stays still. There's also the fabric signs on it here to to gain friction so the foot doesn't slide around, but the super rockets are gonna help. So let's say I press W, one leg is gonna go forward, the other leg's gonna stand still, and the thrusters on that leg is gonna activate. Vice versa on the other side, just with the controls S and W or SS, doesn't matter. So when this foot takes a step, the other leg gets pushed down and stands still. And ballast blocks. Ballast blocks are important too. This is because your mech is going to be pretty light. You're going to put most of the helium inside the torso and pelvis area, and so on. So ballast blocks to keep the mech on the ground and be weighted down so it can move around, take steps, not float around like a balloon. This is a when you're sometimes building a mech, you realize there's a plot limit, right? So you think to yourself, what do I do? How do I position the legs? How do I position the joints? Well, there's many ways. There's a standard just standing still, T-pose stuff. This is like for smaller mechs. Like T-pose here, and then you just got the normal straight legs. But then you got the more advanced stuff, like M14 Atlas, server loading. As you can see, the legs are nowhere near from the actual torso build. They are, this is like way before compressors was built, so there's a lot of motor locking and stuff. But there's motors here, here. This too. The legs up here, I wouldn't have enough space if this mech was standing. This just before the whole plot updates and stuff. But yeah, it's he's just chilling. Just legs sitting in front of him. But to build it, we're just like a little platform right here. And then you could just normal stack, and then motors here. You go out by 2 blocks underneath this boat, next to this motor. Then you just do normal stacks until you get to a certain point, and then you do two, and normal stacks until as high as you want. This is to like hide the motors when it's spawned, but yeah, it goes all the way up, just mobile motor locks. Right here is just one last one up, and then I just connected the legs. It's just motor locking to the side a little bit, and then there's leg joints. I showed you these leg joints earlier. Or you've got the many mech builders uses. So, can't find it. Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. Once again, really old build. A lot of mech builders use this. They bend the knees like 90-degree angle back. I used to always do this, but I found a few flaws in it. Like it got stuck. Used to be, believe it or not, this mech used to be able to walk, but then once I added the back here, it got stuck and didn't work anymore, sadly. This part was just like a normal single knee joint, and then just like a motor lock right here. You can use compressors, same on M1, M14 Atlas. Locking right here, locking right here. Make sure do not make the locking on the same side, so don't put it where this TNT block is, and then right here. Put it here and then right here. so the knees can at least move. Once it's spawned in, the legs are just gonna correct themselves and be straight. A lot of mech builders use it. I don't personally like it, but whatever floats your boat. And then this is where we kind of get some crazy. Hades was messy. Hades, he's probably just sitting on his butt. Just normal, just legs in the sitting position. I use this one a lot. I still use it. I might not use it for Zach. Oops. But yeah, I recommend using this one. It's pretty much just one of the standard hip, pelvis joints showed earlier, and then you just build outwards like this. But yeah, and it's positioning and stuff. With the torso locking, um, I still kind of do this. I just build outwards in a normal tower and just build onto the tower until I make a design I like. Usually offer my custom ones, but with the Hyzak, I built more to the side since chest is flat. Um, and so on. Head locking, positioning. Use that red slot here. I slots head. I just used a normal locking tower and added wedges and crammed wedges into each other to just get a good head. To get eyes, I just used a normal wedge and half wedge triangles on the sides. Just cram wedges in until I find an eye design I liked. But yeah, I'll be showing you detail and such for a mech. So I'll be using my Hyzak D with the Marasai head. So use decals. Decals can add a lot of detail to it, depending where you put it, and merging blocks into one another. I merged the vents into the panel right here. This creates a really cool effect and such on wing trails or detail. Oh, it's moving around. Painting can do a lot of detail. And angling blocks. Use the new angle lock and the compressors. It is really useful. You can create angles like this. I've managed to angle it to the side and downwards to create this really cool effect, and it goes along with the vents right here. The vents, there's zero wedges used on these vents. It was all used with angle blocks. Well, except the little ones right here. But angle blocks are used, as you can see right here, to create the vents. And I use propellers in a black background to create a darker vents area. Paint is pretty important too. You can have darker shades for highlights, or black and gray for vents, or darker details of the mech. I usually use them for joints, vents, eye, eyes like this, or usually the inside parts of the mech. Um, Brighter parts and stuff, I use it for details I really want to show off. Like I have the pipes right here and the inside cockpit area, the eye on the floating head. I'm still trying to fix that and such. Yeah. This is pretty much all I can really say about detailing and stuff, but I do recommend using reference reference images. This whole mech is based off of the Isaac D. This is for the Raws event. You'll know it if you're in the MMC. It's currently really big there. A lot of people are making a lot of Xeon suits. Oh, I gotta fix that. Anyways, um, but yeah, use references. I use a lot of references from my mechs, like Lancelot, Excal. I use Calibarn and a few other references I found on Pinterest, Instagram, or just like a random Google search. You can go into Google and just type in mechs, and you can find all sorts of designs. If you're new, I would recommend trying to go for more blocky designs and then just adding details here and there on it. Use a tutorial frame and just build onto that. You can completely make a tutorial frame and make it not look like a tutorial at all. I've seen so many people do that. I've seen many people in MMC and a lot of other great mech servers use it. Um, Angle locks are really useful. As you can see, use angle locks, angle pieces, and compressors and such. This is really, I bet, really, what? Anyways, compressors, angle locks, you can hide them. As you can see, all these angle locks and these compressors would have been showing outside of it. See right here? But when I press, it's not there. It's clean. Well, I have to paint the inside here, but you could tell it's pretty clean with the invisible blocks. This whole area down here in front of the cockpit and stuff is full of compressors once locked together. But to open it, you can see it is empty. Compressors and angle locks can do a lot for a build. Okay, so references is a key part of mech building too. If you want a good build, try to use references. I get that going fully custom is completely normal. I do it too sometimes. But in every mech I use at least one reference. As I'm showing here, uh, there's multiple references. You can just type in mech in Google search and a few designs will pop up. Or go to Pinterest or Instagram. You'll find quite a few really good designs. Pick what is for your choosing. I personally like sharp designs, and I here and there go for maybe a blocky one, like the Hyzak. Sorry, I'm mentioning that over and over again, but it's just one of my favorite builds currently. But yeah, I usually go for slender, sharper designs. It is up to my building style of what I use for a reference. Like here, I showed off a knight, uh, a pink samurai looking mech, but they all have something in common. All their torso is sharp. A lot of pieces have a lot of sharp edges. This is for my preference. But if you like blocky, thick mechs, go right ahead. Nobody's stopping you. Alright, in this segment we'll be talking about proportions. For proportions of mechs, you don't want your mech to be look like an absolute brick. So think of it as on your torso area, torso to waist area. Think of it as an upside down triangle where it goes small to big. So it doesn't look like you just put a tube and then put another tube on top and just stuck arms onto it and a head. So just think of the lower torso and the upper torso to be an upside down triangle. And then with the pelvis area, you can extend it out This to give it like more of a humanoid look. I put the lights pretty low on this mech, but you could see. Arm length, usually go for mid thigh to lower thigh. Just build out a frame like, let's say, 7 blocks down on thigh, then the knee, maybe another 7 blocks, then just add the feet. Put the arm length from where it's connected to maybe 5 or 4 blocks to the knee, so mid thigh, lower thigh area. That's to my liking. You can change that if you want to. Um, Shoulders, I like to have them more spread apart. You can have them more put in. These were a block in more, but I had to make more space for the torso. Do not make the head really small. If you have a really small head, it's gonna make it look like you just stuck a mini mech inside of a jacked torso. So try to make it almost as wide as the front of your torso. This head is pretty much as wide as the front of the torso. It's just to give it a better look and all. And yeah, a lot of people struggle with heads, and I struggle with them still too, but heads is really a big learning process. You have to mix a bunch of blocks and such together to get a good head. For now though, I'll be showing you how to make a simple eye design. I had a little help from a friend, but I oversimplified it now. These compressors don't have anything changed on them. Um, I'd also like to note that this head part here is going to look really goofy and funny, but as I said, it's a whole learning process. You had to mix all sorts of blocks. You can even go higher with the tower, extend it back more to add more detail and such. I've, as I said, I'm still struggling with heads here and there. I've used this eye design on almost 3 mechs now, and I really got to change my ways of building heads, but yeah, here's a simple eye design. I like this eye design a lot. Oh wow. Um, you can add stuff on the back around it, make the front sharper or flat, is to your liking. You can add a lot to the back, extend it out more. I made a head where I had a jet turbine poking out the back on an older mech. It actually looked pretty cool. So like weld wedges into here to get a cool looking chin. But yeah, this is as simple as it's gonna get for eyes. I used to build a lot of visors, but that was almost a year ago. So I changed my ways on building with that. Decided to build eyes more. But yeah, whoops, that's weird. Yeah, you can add more locking on the side right here. Yeah, adding more locking on the side. And welding wedges inside of here. Extending lock out more. Ads are really just a big locking tower, and then you just add on to it. Or if you want to go crazy, you can build out sideways. I don't even do that yet, but if you're good enough and you can do it, go right ahead. Yeah, so you have a lot more space to add stuff on. Make sure to add more on the side to kind of make the head wider, because just having the eyes and the face like this, it's just gonna make it look blocky and weird. So you could do something like this. See? And gives it a bit more rounder shape. You can add like an antenna on the top. So yeah, this is it's simple as it's gonna get for me. I can do a lot more intricate and detailed, but that's for another time, hopefully. Anyways, this is the end of the whole mech guide. I'll put my Discord in the description and up here. And you can message me if you have any problems, need help with something. I'll try my best to respond as fast as I can. But if I do get flooded with messages, I probably won't be answering you for quite a while. I'll also link my Discord in the description as well. And as you can see here, this is my Discord server. It's pretty small. Um, Also, thank you for 60 subscribers, or close to 60. I've been trying my hardest with this content. I've been trying my best to edit videos. Have a lot of support for with my friends and stuff. Thank you, Mangled. Thank you, Bread. Thank you, Bam. Those are some of the my good playing crazy friends. Um, and MMC too. Great server. Join them too. I'll link it in the description as well. Tons of mech builders, tons of people that'll help you. You know, there's a little bit of a weird side to the server. You'll see it pretty fast. I do moderate the server, so you can ask me questions there as well. I'll be happy to answer you. But yeah, this is the end of the guide, and hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Bye.